In this video, I will be going over the beginning of number 1 for the worksheet, Understanding Rate Concepts. So here we have number 1. It takes Maya 30 minutes to solve 5 logic puzzles, and it takes Amy 28 minutes to solve 4 logic puzzles. Use models to show the rate at which each student solves the puzzles in minutes per puzzle. So they give us some information. They tell us how much time it takes them for a specific number of puzzles. Using the information they give us, we have to figure out a rate. Remember, a rate is going to be a ratio in which you compare one quantity, so in this case minutes, to one unit of another quantity. So that means per one puzzle. Per means one, because that's more valuable. While knowing how long it takes her to finish 5 puzzles is good information. It's better for us to say, like, hey, Maya can finish a puzzle in 10 minutes, 12 minutes. That's more valuable. So we're in this week, we're focused on the idea of rates. And then it says use models. So in this video, the reason I'm making this video is because I'm going to show you the 4 different models that you can use to find a rate. To assist with this, you guys received this worksheet. It's a graphic organizer. In this graphic organizer, we're going to come up with the 4 methods for converting a ratio to a rate. And then down here, we're going to focus on one of the girls in the problem, in this case, Maya. So they tell us that Maya takes 30 minutes to solve 5 logic puzzles. The first method to converting a ratio to a rate is using a picture. So in this box, go ahead and label it. We're going to draw a picture. That's the first method. So the picture that I use is called a tape diagram. You've seen it before. So basically, I'm going to take minutes and puzzles. Minutes and puzzles. So this is going to take me a few seconds, but I'm going to draw it out. Instead of using boxes, because I don't want to draw 30 boxes, I'm going to draw 30 tick marks. 1, 2, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So that represents the 30 minutes. And then for the puzzles, I will draw squares just to kind of distinguish the two. So this is a ratio. They tell us it takes Maya 30 minutes to complete these 5 puzzles. But a rate, when you convert to a rate, you want to figure out how long does it take for one puzzle in this problem, one puzzle. So that means I want to break this up. Each of these puzzles needs to be its own little group, because I want to focus on one puzzle. So that means I need to break the minutes up into 5 groups, because there's 5 puzzles. So if there's 30 tick marks, and I'm going to break it up into 5 groups, that's 30 divided by 5. 30 divided by 5. And 30 divided by 5 is 6. So when I group this, I'm going to put one puzzle with 6 minutes. one puzzle with 6 minutes. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then the second group, one puzzle with 6 tick marks, 6 minutes. And I'm going to keep doing this till I get my 5 equal groups. So this picture shows me that I made 5 equal groups. There's nothing left over. I didn't run out of something, but this tells me each group actually, I'll type this up. Each group has 6 minutes and one goal. That means the rate, that means it takes Maya 6 minutes per puzzle. That's the rate. So she completes one puzzle every 6 minutes because per means 1 unit. And that's how you would solve it using a picture model. Now, is this the best option? While it's the easiest one to visually see, it might not be the best option. Like even for this one, drawing 30 tick marks can sometimes be a little uh, too much. Now imagine if I give you bigger numbers, it takes you 120 minutes for 5 puzzles. That would be a lot. So there has to be other methods that we can connect to this. So the second method, which you guys already have experience with, is a ratio table. And that's what we're going to do in this corner. A ratio table basically means that I'm going to draw a table. On one side, I'm going to use minutes. MIN is the abbreviation for minutes, so mins for minutes. And then over here, I'm going to put puzzle. Then I take the information they give me. So they told me it takes her 30 minutes for 5 puzzles. Then I have to look at the question. The question said, figure out the rate that it takes her to complete per puzzle. So per puzzle, that means 1. So they kind of tell you, put a 1 there. Your job, our job, is to fill in this blank. Since you guys have experience with ratio tables, that means you guys got to find a pattern. So what is a pattern? How do you go from 5 puzzles to 1 puzzle? That should be pretty straightforward, but I want to connect this example to the picture here. When you take something and split it into equal groups, that's division. So technically in this picture we drew, we still divided. It just didn't look, we just didn't use a division sign. And in this table, instead of drawing a picture, we're going to actually use the division sign. So to start with 5 puzzles and go to 1 puzzle, you're going to divide that by 5. What you do to one side of the table, you must do to the other. So what's 30 divided by 5? That is 6. So that means it takes Maya 6 minutes per puzzle for every 1 puzzle. I'm I'm gonna type that out again. 6 minutes per puzzle. So different method, different model, same answer. The third option that we have is you can use equivalent ratio. So that's the third method model. This basically means you just, how we've done it in class, we're gonna literally write the information they give us as a ratio. So they tell us 30 minutes for 5 puzzles. So 30 minutes to 5 puzzles. And then just like in the table and in the picture, we need to complete this statement. So underneath this, they're asking me, us, how many minutes for one puzzle. So how do you get these ratios to be equivalent? Well, just like how you did in the table. If you have 5 puzzles and you need to get one puzzle, that's dividing by 5. What you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So that's again 6 minutes to one puzzle. 6 minutes to one puzzle. And again, I'm going to type that out just because I want you to get in the habit. Every time you solve one of these rate problems, don't forget to write it as a rate. 6 minutes per puzzle. And then the last method is really new, called a double number line. And I know some of you guys are not going to want to use this method because you're used to using one of the 3 that we have been using. That's okay. But my job as a teacher is to give you every method possible. A double number line looks like this. It's basically what the name is. If you've ever seen a number line, you know a number line looks like that. So a double number line literally means you're drawing 2 number lines. Each number line, like a table, has a label. So up here, this is going to be my minutes. Down here, this is going to be my puzzle number line. Number lines are going to start at 0 for us. This makes a lot of sense. If she doesn't do any puzzles, 0 puzzles, that means it takes her 0 minutes. Makes sense. And then we take the information they give us. So they told us 30 minutes. Sorry, wrong number line. 30 minutes for 5 puzzles. They want to know how long it takes her for one puzzle. So how do you go from 5 to 1? Divided by 5. What you do on one number line, you have to do on the other. So that means it takes her 6 minutes for one puzzle. 6 minutes, because it's on the minutes number line, for one puzzle, because that's in the puzzle number line. And these are the 4 methods for converting a ratio to a rate. There's other methods. These are the 4 that we want to focus on in class. You'll see me switch it up. For one problem, I'm gonna ask for a student, hey, did anyone use a ratio table? Hey, did anyone use equivalent ratios? Did anyone draw a picture? Let's focus on a picture for this problem. You'll see me like go back and forth just because I want you to see all four. Now your job is to finish this worksheet. However, for this problem, so we did Maya 4 different ways. But for Amy, because you have to figure out how long it takes her per puzzle, you only have to use one model. So on the go back to this worksheet, and for Amy, you only have to use one model, whichever model you want, whether it's a picture, table, double number line, or colon ratios, and then continue through the worksheet. What I will say for number 3, you can cross off this piece. I don't like that question. For number 3, just do the top part. For number 2, I'll give you a little information as well. So it says a garden hose supplies 36 gallons of water in 3 minutes. Use a table of equivalent ratios to show the garden hoses water flow in gallons per minute and minutes per gallon. So they told me specifically they want me to use a table. On one side I have gallons, on the other side I have minutes. They told me 36 gallons every 3 minutes. They want us to figure out how many gallons per minute. So that means for 1 minute. Per minute means 1 minute. And they also want us to figure out minutes per gallon. So that means for 1 gallon. So you have 2 blanks for this table. You have a blank here, and you have a blank here. You're supposed to fill in both of those blanks. And then answer part 2. There's calculators in the drawer. You can definitely use those. If you have any questions, feel free to call me over. I can answer them for you. Thank you guys. Hopefully this helped with everything.